Okay, my friends, welcome once again to our program, Your Health and You. We are sorry for the late start. We've had some technical difficulties, but we'll reintroduce each other again. As usual, we have Dr. Richard with me. Dr. Richard, welcome to our program.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night,
We have,
everybody. Thanks for
we
the
have a special guest today who is not new to anyone, pretty much who saw our programs before, but Dwayne Bennett was on with us last year, and today he wants to really get into the experience that he had trying to assist you in achieving some of the objectives that you set, the goals you set with his experience and his knowledge. Dwayne, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Now you were just an ordinary guy with a lot of might, a lot of power, a lot of skills and a lot of motivation. We have many persons who need to develop the skills, some of the skills that you have. And today you plan to share maybe some stories, at least a particular story, but some stories about how they can do that, how they can achieve certain things. And we got Dr. Richard there who's going to learn from you too.
Oh yeah.
Today we students, and we have a whole long list of students all over maybe Guyana and the rest of the world who are going to learn from what you plan to share today. So welcome to our program, and let's get right into it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Again, thank you for having me. I like to read a lot of Stoic quotes because there's so much power in what the Stoics from back in the day used to write in their journals. For instance, Seneca, he has a quote that I like, and it goes, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." I'll say that
Mm-hmm.
again. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. So a
Mhm.
lot of times, we want to do better, as a man, as a woman, we want to do better. We want to get healthier. We want to make those better choices. But then we get in our own way at times because we don't think it's possible. And most of if everything is all mental, that's one thing I learned on this journey. Just to give you a quick backstory, I went from 315 to about 190.
Wow.
And it was
Wait
a
a
heavy,
minute, wait a minute, Dwayne. You're not talking about the clock, right? You're talking about weight.
yes,
You went from
talking about weight.
315 pounds
Yes.
to 190 pounds. Can we show that picture? Can we see that picture of 319 pounds, what you were? I would love to have my operator. I would love to have my operator show us that picture if it's ready of you at 315 pounds. I mean, that's hard to imagine.
Oh man, yeah. It was. I'll tell you this. It was hell on earth. If that's a good way to describe it. Um, a lot of the goals that we set, we can definitely achieve them. You start small. You start small, and then you build up because in those small accomplishments, that builds confidence, and that's where I had to rechannel my mind at as far as starting small.
That's you at 315 pounds on the screen.
Oh, it popped
We,
up.
we cannot see it, but it's on the TV. The audience is seeing this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 315. Yeah, 50-inch waist,
How
3X
much weight? How
shirt.
much waist?
My waist was 50 inches. Yeah,
50.
yes, 50 inches. That's correct. I had to get my pants from Casual XL, which is like it's the new big and tall for men.
But you were not a tall guy, right?
No, no, I'm only 5'8". I'm only 5'8". So, I looked humongous. So I had to spend $100 on a pair of jeans because it took so much material to make. Mhm.
Wow. This
Yeah.
is I'm seeing the picture because it was sent to my phone, right?
Yeah.
This picture here makes you look even shorter.
Yes, yes. When you are obese, you will look shorter. That is true. You will look shorter. You will look shorter. Yeah. Because
And
you're
how,
wide.
yeah, you look. I mean, you look like a real big guy here.
Yeah, yeah, I was. I was.
My question to you: How long did you how long did you keep this weight?
All right, so the major weight gain started in 2014 when my daughter was born. My daughter was born in 2014, and it started because I went through a deep depression. You know, me and her mom wasn't getting along well. It was a toxic relationship, and I also, you know, money wasn't good. I wasn't able to find a job, so I was going through a lot, and I resulted to, you know, going to food for my comfort. So I was eating pizza, you know, sweets, cakes, all the things that I know I shouldn't have eaten. And I blew up. I gained like 2014, I gained probably about 60 to 80 pounds. So I went from about,
Dwayne, I have a I hate to interrupt you, but I believe that this particular program is going to take more than one segment. I'm warning you. So I want you to promise me that if we don't get through this segment, you'll come back next week and finish it
oh, next week, woo,
next Thursday.
let's do it.
Because I know you're not going to finish it. I can tell because my question, I'm quite sure Dr. Richard is going to have questions for you too. If Dr. Richard can see this picture,
Oh, wow.
this is Dwayne at the
Wow.
weight that he was at.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
This
Wow.
is Dwayne. 300, how much you say?
315.
315 pounds.
Wow. How did you feel? Did you feel at that time, did you feel that you were overweight or you
I
felt,
knew it. You know, one, I'll be honest, like I was tired a lot. My energy was low, and I was negative because the fatter you are spiritually, you're carrying a lot of negativity too. What comes with that fat? Shame, embarrassment. Those aren't positive thinking. Those aren't positive. That's not positive thinking. So
Mhm.
you're carrying all this guilt. You're carrying a lot of this self hatred, embarrassment, insecurity. All those are negative. So I was carrying a lot of negativity around me and didn't even really understand it. You know, I didn't understand why a lot of things didn't work out for me at that moment because of my mindset, especially how I felt about myself. Because the way you treat yourself, it's going to resonate outside of you and other things that you're involved with. So I was having a lot of bad experiences, that I was creating.
Mm.
What is it that besides the depression, because I know you went through some depression.
Yeah.
Tell us about that depression.
Well, the depression stemmed from a lot of things just not working out. You know, not having my daughter near, you know, not being able to make money, not being able to feel love in myself. I think that was the main thing. I wasn't loving myself. I didn't know how to work on myself just yet. And it just built up, it just piled up. It just kept piling and piling. You know, the negative talk, the doubting, you know, not sleeping. All I was doing everything that contributed to my own negative experiences.
Mm.
Erection not being good. I mean, all of that. You know, I was it was hell on earth. It was hell on earth.
So you even your manhood, if I can say that,
Yeah.
your ability to perform as a man sexually, even that was affected.
Yeah, because you know, and I learned, you know, on my journey, the more fat a man has in his body, his testosterone goes
Mm.
down, and the estrogen in the man body goes up when the testosterone goes down.
I want you to I want you to repeat that again because that is very important for men to understand.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Again, when you are overweight and a lot of that weight going to your stomach, especially, your testosterone is shooting down, and the estrogen is going up. Estrogen is more so found in women. I mean, men have it too. We all have it.
Yeah.
But in women, it's higher because it's what makes them women. It's what gives them the motherly energy. It's necessary, but not too much. But when you're big, from eating sweets and from eating processed sugars and all that stuff, you're gonna shoot up with your estrogen as a man, and that's how you get man boobs and easily weight gain. Your face round out. I mean, it comes with a lot of bad consequences when you don't take care of yourself. And I suffered from that. I went through that.
So you had man boobs.
Had man boobs, yeah. I got other pictures. I'll send you for the next show. I got other pictures of my shirt off and stuff. Yeah, I had it. Yeah.
What were the family or significant others around you? What were they telling you at the time? I mean, is that part of the shaming or that you were mentioning?
You know what? No, it wasn't. I didn't feel any shame from like my grandma or my dad or anybody. But I didn't. They didn't tell it. They didn't tell me, "Oh, you're fat. You're getting fat. You need to lose weight." But you can kind of feel the lack of respect that you get from being so big. You can kind of feel it. You know what I mean?
315 pound Dwayne.
You can feel it. You can feel like the difference of how people treat you. You can feel it.
Let me show it again for those who may have missed it. This is Dwayne at 315 pounds, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 315 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I got a scale, Dwayne, and the scale only goes up to 300 pounds. So what you would have done had you gone on my scale when you were 315, you would have broken this scale.
You would have said error.
So you had to use a cargo scale.
Yeah, I mean, only time I really got my weight was when I went to the hospital, or like if I donated blood, you had to get on the scale. That's how I knew how much I weighed. And I remember just seeing it go. Every time I went to do that, I just remember it going up and up and up. And I'm like, dang, I got to do something about this. But it still hadn't clicked yet. I still had to go through some more suffering.
Did you suffer with any ailments besides the ED that you may have had?
No, just that and asthma.
You had asthma. You had asthma also.
Yeah, and it got worse. The bigger I get, the more I wasn't moving. If I don't exercise, my asthma gets bad for some reason. If I'm not active, it's like my body just turned on me, and it was bad. I was taking my nebulizer all the time. I was taking my albuterol inhaler. I was using that pump a lot.
So did you think that the excess weight that you had, the enormous weight that you had, created maybe the condition that would have triggered off the asthmatic state?
Sure, because think about it, your body's not meant to carry all that weight. So if your body's carrying all that weight, it's going to overwork itself. Even when you think you're resting or sleeping, your body is still going on overload to make sure everything functions properly. And if you keep doing that for years and years and years, that's how you get your diabetes. You can't make insulin. That's how you get your heart issues. That's how the cholesterol. So when your body's trying to carry you and also function as a body as opposed to, it's too much.
Yeah.
That's when things start breaking down on you. That's when things start breaking down.
Did you have a job then?
Yeah, I was trying to do some real estate, so more so independent entrepreneur type stuff. Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have any employees trying to, tell you things about your size, or they were people who were teasing you about things?
No one teased me, but again, I felt
guilty. You felt a little guilty.
I felt guilty, and I knew that my appearance kind of affected my ability to make money. And it's funny you say that, because that aha moment, that moment of I know what I got to do, it came because I used to work with this guy. He's a rich dude down there, and he was an investor. And every time I went to his house, he had a big old house in Weston. That's the nice rich area. And when I would go to his house, he would have cakes, he would have muffins, he would have cookie. This man had the whole layout. Every time I went over there,
chicken.
man, he'll say, Dwayne, help yourself, whatever you want to get. And you know, I love muffins and all that. I'm eating everything. So every time I come over there, I'm eating. So one day I was going to his refrigerator to get some almond milk. And he came into the kitchen and he said, you know, Dwayne, you know, you ever, you know, I don't want to offend you, but you ever thought about just, you know, losing a few pounds? I think it'll help you out when your sales. And I was like, he kind of caught me off guard with that. But it was the best moment that happened in my life at that time because
I want you to repeat what he said to you.
He said, Dwayne, I think you're better, you know, in the field if you kind of just lost a little weight. I mean, he tried to be nice about it, but he was just saying, hey man, you're too fat, lose some weight and you'll do better in your field. That's all he was saying, but he said it in the nicest way he could say it.
Yeah.
And instead of me getting offended by his words, I actually got inspired to do something about it at that moment of April 2019. That's when I took that picture too. April 2019. That's when I took that picture at an event, at a real estate investment event. So at that moment, I said, okay, enough.
This picture, folks, Dwayne at 318 pounds.
315.
315 pounds in 2019.
Yeah.
Wow. When you're heavy, you don't like when people add to your weight, you know.
I tried to add 3 pounds and he stopped me right away.
Wait, no. 315, you know. But so that was the aha moment. And what did you first started doing? I mean, did you?
Okay, so the first thing I started doing was intermittent fasting.
No, hold on a minute, Dwayne. I don't want you to go there yet. Because you were there with all the cookies and
He said that. I lost my appetite.
Oh, you lost.
that's what I wanted to know. If you consumed anything after he said that.
No, I lost. No, after that, you know, one thing about me, man. Once you tell me Santa Claus ain't real, I can't go back to it. You know what I'm saying? I can't go back. I can't go back, and I couldn't. And you know, when he said that, I said, "Damn, he's right. He's right. You know, I need to really get my weight down." And it hit me in the heart with that one. Then, you know, I threw away the cookies that I was eating. You know, those were the softest cookies ever. I threw them away. And I started my journey. I remember telling my wife, all right, babe, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to eat 1 meal a day. I'm gonna eat 1 meal. My favorite foods. At the time, it was baked beans and rice and barbecue chicken and cornbread.
Soul food.
And that's what I ate for a little bit, 1 time a day. And before I know it, you know, I seen the weight was coming off because I put myself in a calorie deficit. Mm-hmm. We all have calories that the body burns naturally without doing anything. And the goal is to get under that number. Like for instance, at that time I was burning, being that big, I was burning probably like, without doing anything, my body was probably burning, I want to say about 3,000 calories or something like that, something near that. And all I had to do was just eat under that, and then the weight would fall off. But the bigger you are, is actually kind of an advantage. The bigger you are, you can lose weight actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, I went from like the 315, and before you know it, I'm in 295, and I'm like 290, and I'm like, oh snap, wow, the weight is really coming off. And then I started, you know, walking, but I wasn't a heavy walker. I wanted to do it fast. In my mind, I'm thinking I got to sprint, which is good, but not that heavy. So I was doing sprints. I was swimming a lot too.
I'd like us to see the next picture because you keep going down in your weight. I want to see what you look like. What did you look like after the first picture that you saw, what we saw? The next picture that you reduced, you went down on the 300. I want to see what that looks like. And I want my operator to send it to me, put it on the screen and send it to me so I could show it back to you. Yeah. Because it's important, because many persons who are trying to lose weight, number one, they don't have that motivation. like you did. Say, okay, I'm gonna stop right away. Boom. And I'm gonna eat 1 meal a day. Most persons wouldn't do that. You know, I want to know, besides the real estate guru that you met and his nice words to you, what else motivated you to lose the weight?
Having a beautiful woman. Having a beautiful woman, slender, healthy, and I'm just this big old guy next to her. I hated that. I hated, like, she might have didn't think I liked to take her out. I was just embarrassed. We didn't go out that much in the beginning. We stayed home. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed of myself. I was very insecure. So, you know, I tell her now about it. She didn't know. I'm like, yeah, I was very insecure. But she was so beautiful, and I just felt like I didn't deserve her because I was this fat, sloppy guy. But she loved me. She loved every pound of that 315-pound man I was. You know.
And he has a beautiful wife, because I met her. This is Dwayne at the next level.
Oh yeah, that's when it was going. Yeah, it was going down. Mm-hmm.
This is Dwayne at 200, under 300 pounds.
Yeah, under 300. Probably around that time. I think about 275 or 280. So yeah, it was coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was coming down.
You in this picture you have your man boobs.
Yeah.
You know, he got his man boobs there.
Yeah, it was something. So, you know, my wife never looked at me with disgusting eyes like that, the way I got from other people. She didn't. She loved me, and that right there made me want to even go harder because she didn't judge me. She didn't make me feel. She didn't put pressure on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She was eating healthy, and she kept doing her thing, and then I was inspired because she had a regimen. You know, she was into stretching and doing her squats and things like that. And I was like, man, you know what? I got to get it together. And then also just, I knew that we were eventually, you know, in the future we would have children, and I want my children to be able to play with me. I want them to, you know, think that they can beat me running, but they never can. You know, I want to be that dad, that active father. So just thinking about all that, and I mean, so many motivations I had, man. People who called me fat, I would use that as motivation.
Yeah.
While I'm in there working out, I'm thinking about all the people who made fun of me. I use a lot of negative experiences to create a positive outcome. Honestly, a lot of negative experiences.
What was the weight of your wife when you were 315 pounds? What was her weight?
My wife was 100 pounds. She was 100 pounds. Yep, 5'2", 100 pounds. Yeah, my wife very slender. She's pregnant now, but yeah, she was very slender, and that motivated me because I want to look healthy like her. Shit, I want to feel good and look good just like her. You know, I want to be able to put on anything and not be insecure how I look, tugging at my shirt or looking in the mirror. Do I look? You know, I wanted to feel good being next to her, and it wasn't that way in the beginning.
And she never said to you, "You're too fat." Nothing like that.
Nah, she never said.
she never also taunted you with the food or anything.
No, whatever I wanted to do and that would make me better, she was ahead of me. She was like, "Hey, let's do it." She was a big supporter. Yeah. And I think, you know, I meet a lot of men, you know, I meet a lot of people in the world, and I say shame on the wife. Shame on you women, the bad ones, who let their man use their fork as their shovel, as you would say, right? You know, because women have the most influence on us as men. Who we go to sleep next to, they got the most power over how a man moves in life. Who we pillow talking to. Mm-hmm. So you got this woman that you're sleeping next to you, and she's not saying, "Hey, baby, we need to make better choices health-wise. I want you here for my grandkids, our great grandchildren." So a lot of times, the health of a man, it
hinges on the spirit of the woman.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. See, if
That
your
is
woman
very,
is,
that's very important. It's very, very important because in the average society where there is weight gain and weight to be lost on either side, man being thin, woman being obese or oversized, what you experience there is not normal in those relationships. You know, the woman the woman who is big, the man would say, "Oh, you're too fat. You need to lose weight. You need to stop eating this and stop." You know, it is always, it is for the most part the taunting that comes out, and that would demotivate you basically, because the person who you're with is saying these things to you and pretty much trying to embarrass you, and you know, so it is important that the partner encourage you, not really chastise you, but you know, look at you and says, you know what, we just need to change how we're eating, or maybe adjust what you do, or you know, instead of saying you're too fat, we should probably maybe use other phrases and say, let's, what about if we change the way we eat food this week or next week, so you can, you know, play a positive role in using the spade or the shovel or the fork, instead of digging a grave with your teeth, you know, you use that fork or that shovel to kind of fertilize things, to, you know, to make it better, right?
yeah. Because I mean, I've met. You ever seen how people say, oh, when a man get a woman, he gain weight. They say, oh, that's happy weight.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
That's not, no, that right there is a red flag. If I'm getting with you and I'm gaining 20, 30 pounds, that means you don't really care about me.
Yeah.
I think that's the opposite. We should be working out. We should be striving to push each other to be healthier, to be better. And I mean, as soon as I, you know, even though I failed a lot in the beginning, before 2019, I tried. I kept failing, but I kept trying. You know, I give up. We always had an idea of, you know, my wife and I to work out. We used to work out all the time. If I couldn't sleep 2, 3 in the morning, baby, let's go to the gym. All right, we out. Let's go. Come on. It should be right along with me, lifting weights, everything. So we were always, you know, had this energy of we're going to make sure fitness is important to us. And even till this day, we walk to the park, you know, she does her squats, yoga, stretching. So, you know, we still implement that in our everyday life.
That's very encouraging, and that's awesome. That is a factor in assisting you to go on, to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's pretty good. I mean, the thing is, a lot of men, I know with myself, I gained a lot of weight when my wife was pregnant, because, you know, whatever she ate, we eat all different times of the night. Sometimes you had to go and get orders, you know, pizza or whatever was required. And you know, you go to Walmart or wherever to get whatever is needed, and you end up eating too sometimes late at night, and you've been on the way too. You know, most men that happens. You know, and
But you know what? That's actually normal.
yeah.
That's scientifically, men are going to gain weight when their wife is pregnant. And it's funny because when I read that, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm going to go extra harder. I remember telling, we were in the bed and I was reading it. And I said, they say that men gain weight when women are pregnant. I don't want to lose all my progress. So I went harder. I ain't gonna lie, I went harder. They also, our testosterone drops too.
Yeah. You didn't want that to happen.
So I kept, you know, I went extra harder, you know, because I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. And you know, I'm grateful to say that I haven't. I still keep my program, and you know, I still keep going. But it ain't easy, you know, because my wife, she eats all the stuff that, you know, I used to eat, and it's just funny to see her eat it, because I'm like, it doesn't faze me anymore. But you know, it's part of the journey.
Well, I wanted to ask you also your program. How did you go about it? I know you say it's intermittent fasting, and you started just eating one meal. When did you fast? What time was that one meal? And then just like a layout of what your program was for the day, like a typical day.
Okay, well, first I got to tell you, I changed it a lot. Okay, in the beginning with that picture, I was eating around 6 o'clock every day, between 6 and 8, depending on when I got home.
Okay, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Right?
between 6 and 8 p.m.
Mhm.
As I, when I moved, because I moved from Miami to Brevard County, I came across the keto diet. So I went into keto. I learned about that. I was doing that for a while. And I was still doing 1 meal a day. I was still doing 1 meal a day.
Were you doing just the peas, the beans and rice, and what else were you doing? Just your meal?
With keto is no carbs. It's like 50 grams of carbs and less. That was the keto diet. A lot of high fats, a lot of avocado, a lot of cheese, and a moderate amount of protein. So not too much protein. That was the science behind the keto. Right?
You're burning fat instead of carbohydrate.
Yeah, that was the ideology behind it. And you want to put yourself in a state of ketosis. Right? And during that, I did it for a year, to be honest. I did that for a whole year. And that's when I went from like the 290 to 280, and then I went down to 230, which is like, I was like, oh wow, I'm 230. So I went from 315 to 230, but I couldn't break 230 for nothing. I couldn't break 230. I mean, I was going hard in the gym. I was doing all type of stuff, but I couldn't break 230. Couldn't do it. And then I stopped doing the keto diet, and I just went to, because I done got so used to eating 1 meal a day that eating multiple times, it just didn't make sense for me. Like I didn't feel right eating in the morning, afternoon, and for dinner. I just didn't feel right. I was just so conditioned to eating 1 meal a day. I got off the keto diet, I want to say in 2020 of October, and then I just was eating whatever I wanted just that one time a day. And I probably gained about 10 pounds. So I went up to like 240. At the time, I wasn't really, because I went through a period where I wasn't really like working out at all. I was just, I was just coasting for a little bit. But then I met Dr. J.
Before you talk about Dr. J, I wanna ask you to promise us that at the end of your dialogue, when you finish, not today, when you finish giving us all of this information about getting down where we need to get to, I want you to promise me that we're gonna see you without your clothes on. So we can see all the muscles that you got. And
oh, you take your shirt off?
this guy looks like Mr. Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
when
wow.
you see him now, he looks like, from where he was, that big picture. When you see him now, it's hard to imagine that this is the guy who was 315 pounds. So I'm gonna tell my audience to vote so that you could show us your physique when you're done. Anyway, just go on and tell us what happened when you met Dr. J.
Man, my wife ain't gonna let me go to Guyana, boy.
She'll come with you, don't worry.
She gonna come with me, yeah, for sure.
She'll come with you.
But so yeah, the journey, I mean, it was a lot of, I failed a lot. Don't be afraid to fail. If you out there listening and you're trying to get right, man, just keep going through it. You're gonna fail. I failed a lot of times. I honestly, even before 2019, listen, I was trying to do this. I was trying to lose weight from 2014 up until I got it in 2019. It took me 4 or 5 years to do it. And I would get on a good run and then I just give up. Something to happen and then I fall back into depression and say, forget it. Give me my pizza, give me my cheesecake. Let me get that bucket of ice cream and go in my room. So I failed so many times. So many times I gave up. So it's part of the journey. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's life. It's life. You just keep fighting. Eventually, you're gonna get it.
What was the biggest motivational factor that caused you, after all of those times when you keep failing, to say, you know what, this is it?
Because I knew I could do it. That was the main thing. I knew that I can do it. I knew that I can get healthy. I knew that I can get to that point. It just, things get, it get discouraging. I started making excuses. And once I kind of got over the excuses that I was making, I knew I could do it. At the end of the day, I believed in myself. I believed in myself, honestly. Even when I was 315, And it's funny because I would see people who knew me back in the day when I was, in sports and stuff. They'd be like, "Damn, Dwayne, what happened to you? What happened to you? You got so big." So I did get that, but I knew I could get back on it. I knew I could.
So when you met this guy, what happened to you? Dr. J, what happened?
Hey,
Oh, okay. So I met Dr. J. Well, I'm gonna give you a backstory. So when I moved to Brevard County in 2019, I remember speaking to a lady. She's like a mother to me. She's up in Jersey, and name is Joan. And I was like, I wish they had a machine that tells you things about your body that we normally wouldn't think that it can do. Like tell you what's wrong or tell you what you need to improve and all this. Because I just felt like I was playing a guessing game. I was always playing a guessing game. I didn't know, I didn't really know what was going on with me. And I just put that out to the universe. And then 2022 came in May. That's when I heard about Dr. J and what he do for people. You know what I mean? And I was like, are you serious? And it was May 31st, 2022. I drove from Brevard all the way down to his office in South Florida. And man, it was a transformation of a lifetime. One, we clicked, spiritually. I felt like I met like a spiritual uncle or a spiritual father. It was like, man, where you been? Long lost family, and we hit it off. We hit it off well. And right then and there, I knew that this is where I belong and that I was doing the right thing. And then, we got on his we got on this machine, and he put the the headphones. I had to watch the screen scan my whole body, and I had to hear news that was alarming. I had to learn about things about myself that was scary. It was scary because I'm like, damn, I didn't know that my body was in such turmoil. I didn't know that I had so many things wrong with my body. So it was definitely a blessing. It was definitely a blessing.
But I gotta mention that Dwayne calls me Dr. J.
Yeah, Dr. J.
And it left with him since 22. When he met me, Dr. J stayed with him all the time. So he calls me Dr. J even to this day. And I gotta tell you that when I saw him, and he came with his wife, and when he came into the clinic, I saw him and I was wondering, this guy looks like a hitman. This guy looks like a mafia. This guy looks like, because of how he was dressed, right? And then he came with this pickup truck. It was a pickup truck, right? I think it was a pickup truck.
Oh no, that was the second time I came out and seen you. That first I had a little SUV.
It was an SUV, right? He came with an SUV.
Red one.
Yeah, came with an SUV, and when I saw, of course, when you pulled up, the owner of the clinic asked me. She said, "Are you expecting anyone?" I said, "Yeah, I expect this guy coming from somewhere, Brevard County up there, to see me." She said, "Well, I think he's out there." So I came outside into the store and I looked through the glass. And I saw you coming out of the vehicle, your wife came out, and then you were coming in. And I looked to myself, I said, this guy looks like, I don't know. But anyhow, let's see what happens. And when he came in, we took some time getting familiar with each other and I introduced him to the device, and I went over what the things that he needs to do and things that he needs to expect, and we went over all the philosophy about the device and so on, because I was trying to familiarize myself with him, trying to feel him out to see who he was, because he looked like a movie star, right? But I didn't tell him anything. And I thought he was also, I thought he was somebody who was coming to interview me or something, right? I didn't know who he was. So I was feeling him out, and then he said, I'm here to see you because I got some issues I want to resolve. Got some things I want to, I learned about you. I heard about you from my an aunt in New York, and my aunt up north, some aunt up north. What is the phrase you use for her?
She's my spiritual mama.
Yeah, my spiritual mother up north, And when he said that, I am beating my brain to figure out who this person is because I see so many people up north. I'm beating my brain, and then he described her and said, "Oh yeah, I know who she is. I still look at her today, you know." And,
She always asks about you. You always ask.
yeah, it was really like he said, it was like a connection that I see him like a brother. You know, when we settled down, I felt like this is like I felt like he was like a family. You know, so it was easy for me to work with him when we got to the point where I felt comfortable with him. And we talked about the fact that they want to get children and all sorts of things and all of that, and it wasn't happening. And then they had experience. We went into all of that stuff, and I said, look, not to worry. I'll do everything I can to make sure you're okay. I said, I'll do everything I can to make sure you're okay. And the rest is history. You know, he's like family to us. He can call me any hour. He can visit any time. As a matter of fact, where I'm sitting in this house, it was Dwayne that actually went to the house before I even saw it. You know, we became that close. I trusted his judgment to come to the house that I'm in right now and look it over. He made all the arrangements with the real estate person, and they came in here, and I didn't even, you know, I felt very comfortable with him looking at the facility, and I trusted his judgment. You know, that's how far we went. You know, we became like the spirit just bonded, and it was so easy, you know, so easy. But you can take it from there.
You about to say something, Richard? My bad.
Yeah. What was the initial meeting, and then also the initial advice? You said it changed everything.
Okay, yeah. So remember, I told you I couldn't break 230. Couldn't break 230, and so the consultation revealed that there were a lot of foods that I was putting inside my body that was working against me. For instance, chicken. Mind you, I had a refrigerator full of chicken. I had just bought it right before I came to see the chicken. I just bought so much chicken. I probably spent $100 on chicken because I used to love chicken thighs. And the machine told me that it pretty much was a poison to my body. And along with a list of other foods, ketchup, popcorn was on my list. Himalayan salt. I mean, it blew my mind that a lot of the foods that I was eating every day was actually a poison to my body.
Wow.
Because this list, it specified what's hurting my DNA. So once I got the herbs that I needed, I got the globes, I got the list. I mean, he gave me everything I needed to be successful on my journey. So I didn't stray away from it. I followed it to the T. Now I was able to break that 230 and go down to 190, and I feel much better, more energy. My waist is like a 31, 32. Yeah, so following the program to the exact science, which I did, because I'm a stickler about that, because I want to see the results. I'm obsessed with the results, and I'll do whatever it takes to get the results that I'm looking to get, and I did it. And I've been on that. I've been following this since 2022, June 1st. Wow. I've been eating within that list, even though, y'all, the list can change because once you get fixed up, certain foods you can bring back. But I've been following the same list as if I didn't get fixed up since then. So for a year, I want to say going on 2 years, I've been eating pretty much the same foods every day.
Yeah, he's I had him over at our house, and when this guy came, he walked with his food. He walked. You know, I mean, he's coming to a house where we don't need no flesh, we don't need all sorts of things, and yet still he walked with his food to eat because he didn't want to get off of his program. Yes. That is how committed he. That, you know, when I saw that, I didn't tell you anything, but when I saw that, it somehow it resonated with me, and I said to myself, this is what people need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you talk about wanting to lose weight and wanting to change your lifestyle, and your body tells you, like Dwayne said, what the list that he got was what matched his DNA.
Mm-hmm.
To get where he wanted to go, he had to follow that list. And this is where we have our biggest problem, Dwayne. The people who we see who are sick with all sorts of diseases, when that list comes out, because we don't prepare the list. It's your body that tells us what you should not be using.
That's right.
Which you found out, which you know. When we give them that list, Dwayne, it's to them, to many of them, it's like a death sentence. What am I going to eat? You know, oh my, I know this is my favorite food. I don't, no, I can't do that. I can't. So right away they defeat themselves.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny you said that, Doc. I want to share a fact with y'all right quick, man. They got this guy. You ever heard of the dude named Dr. Andrew Huberman? He's on YouTube a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Huberman?
Yeah, Huberman. Andrew Huberman. He's a doctor.
I heard the name, but I never really looked at it.
So check this out. He dropped a crazy fact, and I want to share it with you because it correlates with what you were just saying. All right, so there's a part of the brain called the anterior mid cingulate cortex. Okay, keep that in mind. It's a small part of the brain. When people do something they don't want to do, like like work out, change their diet, cold showers, and things like that. When they do that, that part of the brain gets bigger. Keep in mind, adding things to their life of stuff that they don't want to do, that parts get bigger. In obese people, that part is small.
Wow.
In people who work out all the time, people who are met with challenges and overcome those challenges, that part is big. And scientists are now saying that is the reason why a lot of people can live a long life, because they have the will to live.
Mm-hmm.
All because they're doing things that are uncomfortable, that they don't want to do. Like I don't want to work out every day. Sometimes I just want to lay in bed. Sometimes I do want to go and eat a pizza. But the fact that I'm always staying in my program, that adds on to my will to live, which then expands my lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important.
It's interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. That journey will have to continue, because I know we're over time. I don't know how much time the operator is going to give us, but we normally have 1 hour in the program. And I mean, it's very interesting because I know a lot of people are watching. They're looking. I don't know, operator, if you can tell us how much time we have. I'd appreciate that, because I know we overtime, but we started late, right? And sometimes they give us back the time, you know. Sometimes because they have other things that happen at a certain time. But that is the part in most people's journey that causes them to fail. That's the part.
Yeah.
Many persons, okay, we got 8 minutes. You just send me a text that we got 8 minutes more.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to share the 8 minutes. Many persons on New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day, they make all these wishes. And one of the biggest wishes is that they're going to lose weight. Right? And most of them, at the end of that year, gain weight and don't lose any weight. So the theory that you use there, the mechanism in the brain, is a big factor in contributing to persons achieving their objectives.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to mention that again, so that the people who are watching, who need to lose the weight, who need to overcome obstacles, I want you to talk about that again. And this is going to be your 3.5 minutes.
For sure. So keep in mind, y'all, there's a part of the brain called the anterior mid cingulate cortex. When you are doing things that you don't want to do, like changing your diet, exercising, when you are accepting challenges that you know you're not going to like, but you do it, this will add time to your life. because scientists are not saying that this could be one of the factors to a long life. People who are exercising this part of the brain and doing the uncomfortable things will live longer.
So,
Not to mention, this is saying that you love yourself.
mhm.
So all of that is positive. There are things now in my life that I'm still looking to conquer, that I'm still looking to challenge myself. For instance, speaking on YouTube is something that I've been planning to do for years, and I'm finally overcoming that fear of doing that. This is something I'm going to share with you guys. And yeah, when you conquer those fears one by one, it adds on, along with you taking care of your body, it adds on to yourself, to your life, and to the quality of life. And that's very important. Because at the end of the day, man, we all should strive to see at least 3 to 4 generations of our family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my message.
So my question, and I know you did touch on it, the singular gyrus you mentioned about that. How were you able to motivate yourself to be able to overcome things that you don't like to do? A lot of people have the motivation initially, like when they make this in the beginning of the new year, they make they say they're going to lose weight, or all these different things that they vow that they will do. But first, or maybe the last maybe 1 or 2 weeks, how many days were you able to do these things, uncomfortable things? When, I guess my question is, when does it kick in that it's part of you? And
When does it become a normal state of you?
when did it kick in? How many days did it take? 10 days, 15 days? I mean, they normally say if you do anything for 21 days, for example, it becomes part of you, a habit.
I feel like you got to fight yourself every day. It's a battle that you got to win against yourself every day. I tell my wife, like, I got to walk 5 miles when I get up, because that's me defeating my own self. If I can beat me, no one else can touch me. It's a battle every day. Like I talked to Dr. J about his push-ups. Sometimes on push-ups be whooping you, right?
Oh yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
But it's just an everyday fight. And let me tell you something. As a man, you shouldn't want it to be too easy. You shouldn't, because we're built to deal with this type of stress. We're built to deal with these type of challenges. So you should welcome these at this adversity. You should welcome it, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you better and make you stronger. Is it easier for me now? Yeah, it's a little easier, because I expect myself to do it, and I don't always feel like doing it. I would stall sometimes. Sometimes I would just sit and just talk to my wife, and I know I should be out. I just be like, all right, baby, I'm done stalling. Let me go ahead and get this workout in. I still stall sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I still stall. I still put things in front of it, but I get it done.
Do you feel guilty when you don't do it?
Oh, I feel terrible. Oh man, yes. Believe it or not, I still feel 315.
That was my next question to you. How do you feel? You still feel your a body dysmorphic sort of? Do you see yourself still
yes.
in the same
Yeah.
realm?
Yeah.
You feel the
Yes,
same way?
Yes, I tell my wife I have body dysmorphia. Yes.
This is Dwayne in 2019, right?
Yeah.
We still have to get to 2023 and 24, and this is not in now. I just want to remind the folks that this is where we're gonna stop, and then we'll continue next week to bring the pictures down to where he is today, and then he's gonna show us that Hulk Hogan body that he's got. I'm reminding you of it. So
very motivating. Very motivating.
I want to say that today has been a wonderful program. It's been a wonderful day. I know Dr. Richard is probably thinking now. And when Dwayne talked about the push-ups, I made a commitment in 2019 when I got stuck in Fort Lauderdale with Corona, that I am going to get up every morning and do 100 push-ups,
Mhm.
non-stop 100. And this is 2024. I still do them.
That's good.
And when I don't do those push-ups, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know, sometimes I just want to get up and just get in the shower and just get ready to go to work. And every time I get ready to go in the shower without the push-ups, like something hits me in the head and says, you didn't do your push-ups.
Mm,
And I got to do my 100.
Yeah.
that's good. I used to do 25 pull-ups. I can hardly do one.
By the time Dwayne done with us, you gonna do all your pull-ups. Anyhow, final words, Dwayne, in a minute or so. Until next Thursday. You gotta be back next Thursday. Because you can't
Okay.
stop now.
All right. Final words.
For today.
I would say another quote, another Stoic quote. Associate with people who are likely to improve you.
Say it again.
Associate with people who are likely to improve you.
To improve you.
Mm.
That's beautiful. Associate with people who are likely to make you better, to improve you, to take you further. You know, and this is my end statement. I woke up today and something happened to me that was very strange. It never happened before. And when I did my push-ups and I was getting ready to go in the shower, this thought came to me and it said, if God wanted you to look back, he would make you so your head can turn backward.
That's deep.
You know, if God wanted you to look back, he would design you, he would make you, he would manufacture you so that your head, your eyes can look behind you.
Yeah.
He didn't want us to look back. That's why he made us so we can look forward. We can look to the sides, we can look forward, but we can't look back unless we turn around.
Yeah.
Not normally anyway. You know, so my finishing words today is, you were at 315. You now, I'm not going to say what you are now, but it's not what I show you, the audience in the picture. You're not looking back at 315. You're looking back at 315 to motivate you to not get back there again.
Yes.
You're moving forward.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
Wonderful.
Dr. Richard, your final words.
Yeah, next time I want him to come with a mental program, because a lot of times we defeat ourselves mentally even before we started. And then the next thing I want to, what advice, where was he initially without gaining the weight? What's the what was his weight before he gained all the weight? And what can he tell somebody who was thinking about losing? Because he lost, like, how many persons you lost? He lost like you lost two persons.
Yeah.
If we look at the size of his wife, he lost three people, two and a half.
Yeah, I lost my wife.
He lost the size of his wife 2.5 times.
So what is the motivation? The mental exercises that you go through? Because I know, it's willpower, right? But
we'll have to hold that for next time, because I know we're over time now.
Bring it.
Maybe we make some notes, and when you come on next time, you're gonna pick it up from that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I got notes about all that.
I know you got a lot of notes. I figured that. But we haven't scratched the surface yet. But I think it's been a beautiful program. There are lots of people who looked on today that are saying, I can do it too. I'm quite sure. And Dr. Richard, I know you picked up a lot of points yourself, and I did. And we want to thank Dwayne for coming on and continuing his journey. Dr. Richard, I want to thank you too, and my operator, Dale. I know Dale was sitting there looking glued to the TV, because Dale is going to learn a lot from this too. And even myself, I'm motivated to even go to do more than 100 push-ups. I'm going to try to get to 125 at one time.
I'm going to try to get.
I know I can do it. I know I can do it. But I want to thank you all for coming on the program today. I want to thank our viewers. Thank Dale, and
Thank you.
until next week. Take care of yourselves. God bless you. So long.
Peace. Thank you.
Uh,